Hello, welcome. A little 2 minutes late or something. My students know that I hate people listening. So it's a good start for the workshop. First of all, I'd like to say that I've just tweeted out the live stream. Some of you have asked if I could give you the link so they could share. So now it's if you use the hashtag workshop MMD, the live stream is on. And we have some resources. First of all, this workshop is going to be in use of Twitter and all of the way you can use it so you can get started. First of all, how many have a Twitter account? That's good. How many is using it? That's not that many. Yes, and that's the big thing, that a lot of people went onto Twitter and then they never used it. I have tweeted to some of you where I could see there was 670 days or something since the last tweet. That's a long time not using it. We have some resources. I'd like to have a lot of questions. Instead of just pointing out all the questions, you can use the hashtag workshop MMD and we will get them up here live. If you look here on this, and I will answer them when it fits in. You have to be aware that everyone can see them. They can be in Danish, they can be in English, not Greek or Latvian or something, but Danish or English, and I will try to answer them. The way this workshop is built up is I have a presentation where I give you an overview about Twitter and how you can use it. Because you have to remember that this workshop is not the truth of Twitter. It's how I use it and how I get stuff out of it. And I have to say it's my most important tool to learn new stuff and connect to people. I will show you later. First of all, my own Twitter story actually started before 2009. This account was signed up, I think, in November, it says, but I had another account 2 years before, something like that. The whole thing started that I had a blog. I had a blog about photography, and I actually made my living off this blog. And I started to use the social media to promote it. And I went on to Twitter, and this is how my Twitter journey basically looked. In the beginning, it's just Twitter, and then you started, and quite fast afterwards you stopped using it because I didn't know what to use it for. And then there was something like a little bounce. Oh, I have to use it. I have to use it. And then I tried, and it didn't work. And maybe that was for 2 years or something. Where I just had the account, where I didn't use it, I didn't know what it was for. Suddenly I went to some workshops, colleagues. I have this journalistic background, and Twitter is one of the most important tools for a lot of journalists. And I started to use it. And I actually started to get knowledge, connections, anything out from it. I've been booked for jobs on Twitter. So I make money too because I have connections there. So basically, that's how it started. Before we go into what Twitter is and how you find people to follow and so on, I'd like to talk to you about what Twitter actually is as a social media. How many of you are on Facebook? How many of you are using Facebook all the time? Facebook and Twitter, people say, oh, on Facebook I can do this, and Twitter it doesn't work. There's a huge difference in the two kind of social media. One of the biggest difference is on Facebook in general. Of course, there's company sites and groups and so on, but then you're connected. You're friends. Jeff and I, we are friends on Facebook, and we follow each other. There's something with algorithm, how much you see of each other and so on, but you have to connect as friends. On Twitter, there's no connections. You don't even need to follow the person to get the updates. I can follow Jeff, but if he thinks that the stuff I put on Twitter is foolish or not interesting for him, he doesn't need to follow me. And that's kind of the thing that is the totally difference. And the thing is that if we check social media in general, I can say all of us in here, or in general, all people above 20 are digital retarded. You can be really good at coding, or you can be really good at setting these computers up. You can see how stressed I was about setting up a projector. But basically, on social media, everyone in this room is retarded. You have all learned to be on social media when you were quite old. And I think quite old is also 10 years old or 8 years old. Myself, the first social media I was on was mobile phone. I got it when I was 18. I learned to SMS. My wife taught me to text because then she could send me nice text and so on. And I never tried it. That was my first. So the way I learned to use social media was when I was quite old. Trying to think, we have learned to be together as people, how we interact with each other for the last 3,000 years or 10,000 years was in our comfort zone. Jeff, for example, even that I know Jeff really well, do you think it's a bit uncomfortable when I stand here speaking? Right, Jeff? So we normally don't do that. We don't go close to people and talk to them like that because we know we don't do that. You all know Snapchat. There was a little, some people was quite nervous a half year ago or something because Snapchat was hacked and there was a lot of people saying naked pictures of different body parts. And I bet someone in here was a little nervous too. And I think it's quite natural that people experimenting with this kind of social media sending stuff to each other because we have never learned how to act on social media. My kids, I have 2 small kids, they are 3 and 5. They are the real digitals. They know when they see a laptop, they think it's so old school, they can't touch on the screen. They think when they get pictures from the kindergarten, my son on 5 started to send it to me on my phone from his iPad. He learned to communicate. He will learn to interact with people online. As natural as when I go to a party with him, birthday, I say to him, don't take 3 pieces of cake like that. It's not nice. You have to only take 1 piece. That's how you raise your kid. But I can't raise them on social media because I've learned to be social. And we have to be aware of that when we use Twitter. Because in Facebook, it's a very social. We know each other, all of us. I know some people they don't know, but the one that's talking, it can be really kind of just intern, kind of just talk like you know each other. You can even sit in the same room and text each other. But on Twitter, where we don't need to be connected, it's more like you're to a party with you, a networking meeting, and you don't know any of the other people there. And that's why I use this illustration is because you can stand in this party, and then you can just shout and, hey, I'm the best photographer! And all the others, they will think, who the fuck is that? Yeah, and you can get my pictures for really cheap. It's kind of standing outside just screaming in. Here I'm talking about users on Twitter who just promote, hey, I have this great offer for this. Or, see this, it's really cool. The thing with Twitter and the thing you have to understand is you have to participate. You have to give people something. You have to go into conversations. You have to help people. And maybe you should say, I don't know people. but I would like to help. And that's kind of the mindset. And don't expect people coming to you on their own. If you help people, they will help. And that's the big difference between Facebook. You know, some of you have been maybe on Facebook for 7 years now, 8 years, and that's, you know, oh, I'm on a social media, and that's what we kind of say. This is social media, but there's a lot more to it. You have to think of Twitter as the network meeting, where you go, a lot of business people go to network meetings, meet people, help each other without expecting to get anything. That's Twitter, in my opinion. Remember, everything I talk about here is how I see it. Go to another Twitter workshop, there's another guy who says something different. And that's the brilliant about Twitter. I don't know one person who uses it the same way as me. They twist it a little, use it their way, and that's brilliant, I think. Twitter, what is it then? It's basic. When it was launched, 2006, I think, it was called the micro-blogging site. That was kind of now you have 140 characters. You have to tweet short messages out. So it's a small messenger platform. That was actually what was sold on in the beginning. And then that you are not friends. The most important thing for me is network. I have tried to build this up on examples. So the examples I have in here, I made them Saturday morning when I was working. I got a job interview at the National Danish Broadcasting next week by Twitter this Sunday. One of my old bosses on Ekstrabladet, I saw on his profile, his name is Heiner, I saw that he was writing, 1st of March, I'm gonna be online editor on PR. And I was like, you can see our messaging, hey, I hadn't seen it. And he said, yeah, only 1 week to go. And I said, you have to, if you need something, and so on. And he ended saying, yes, and then I got an SMS, a text, where he said, actually, when I start there, I'd like to talk to you because I need people on Fyn on Odense. So I need you to come to an interview next week. That's Twitter. That for me, when I see something, interact, that gave me, and it was just like, hey, congrats, you got a new job. And within 15 minutes, I had a job interview. So the power of networking is for me some of the most important things here. And networking with people that I'm not friends with. Heine, I know him. I haven't worked for him for 4 or 5 years. I met him maybe once or twice the last 4 or 5 years. So that's one thing. The other thing is connection. If you need something, if you need help to do something, you will get connected within 5 minutes. Oh, you wonder how I can tweet when I'm standing here? Schedule tweet. I've scheduled all the links and everything I talk about in the presentation. So the next hour, 2 hours, there will come tweets with all the links and so on. Yeah. This Julia up here, I don't know her. I know her from Twitter because I follow her and I think she's very interesting in her news and so on. But I saw this Sunday the same. I was preparing this. She asked, hey, I have to ask for my former boss who to go to if I need something about Facebook advertising. And within, I found this a little late, but you can see within an hour, she had like 4 people recommending her, connecting her to other people. And actually, they are doing what Twitter is about. They are helping. Thomas Beacom is very known in Facebook. He's kind of a Facebook expert in Denmark. But basically, before, they just say, oh, Just go to this guy, he knows something. They are helping. And I wrote to her afterwards, hey, can I use it as an example? And she said, yes, of course, this is the, and she said to me, this is the cool about Twitter. I had to ask, and I asked out, and I got help, and could look 3 or 4 different directions within 10 minutes. Direct, and the cool thing is, they were hashtagging or not, they were adding the people they were talking about. If you look here, you can see his name, his Twitter handle, his name was used. So he would say in his feed, he would know that someone recommended him. He could act on that. So the people who mentioned just said, oh, I want to help. Check this guy. That is brilliant. Knowledge. Where's Chris? Yeah, he's a student. I learned something from him Sunday. One of the things I teach is design, and one of the things I have first semester was mood board, just a briefer, and I saw him by luck on Twitter, actually because I monitor what he is saying. He found a cool way to make mood boards online. Crazy place. It's really brilliant. And I didn't know about this. I didn't know, but I will use this for my teaching next time because I think it's brilliant. It's digital and so on. So I learned something. Every new thing I learn, a lot of the sites I learn, a lot of the blogs where I new knowledge, I get it like that because I know who to follow, or I know, you can see, you use some hashtags. I follow some terms because I'm interested in that. I'll show you all the technique I use later. That's why we have this up here. I will show you how I do it and how I can monitor 600 people or 1,000 people and still get the information I want. But knowledge here, direct from Twitter, on subjects that I'm interested in, is the power. I have to say, you have to put some work in it. You have to say, I want to learn stuff. It's like going on a library or going to school. You have to have the wish to discover. And when you have that, you can learn stuff like that. This site is on my bookmarks about design now. And I'm going to use it. The next thing is news. I think a lot, and it has been kind of a joke, journalists, all the Danish journalists are on Twitter. They are, and it's very used. I have the first, go back. We have the first over here. Philip Dahlberg, he is actually a former, what do you call it, lecturer, teacher on SDU in journalism. He's a former colleague on Ekstrabladet Politik for me, and now he's just changed up to Fynske Media. The cool thing is he is a really great journalist, but he can code. He's crazy, almost like Kenneth or the brown guys. And he can manage data. And that's, for example, the job he's got in Fynske Media is to take big data and put it into journalism. But he made this graph over here about the shooting in Copenhagen. And he took all the reporters, we have there a list for journalists, and saw how many tweets they were tweeting on the night. There, the numbers here is a little small to see, but that is 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and they were tweeting twice as much. I can say that I didn't sleep that night. I was laying in bed, following all the news real time on Twitter. Actually, the shooting, there was a sound recording of the shooting from the first meeting. BBC tweeted it out before any Danish media, and I heard it 10 minutes before any of the Danish media reported about it. Because I followed it there. I got opinions, I got development, everything I got from Twitter. So all my news gathering, and I'm a kind of a news junkie, I get from there. I never, and it's sad because it's been my old job, I never buy a newspaper anymore. I actually never buy or see TV news, Flow News, Flow TV, because I get all my news from Twitter. I do it several ways. I follow journalists. I also have a list with breaking news, and I have a place where I follow breaking, and I have a list where I follow journalists. And one of the things today you're measured on as a journalist in a job is if you can drive traffic to your work. You know, on Facebook, if you follow news or someone share an article or a TV spot or something, they are putting it out to generate traffic. And Twitter is one of the most biggest platforms where journalists used to promote if they wrote a good article or see this, share this, but also not their own, not self-promoting, but actually a lot of journalists are really good at promoting other people's stuff. So I have a list that I will show you called Journalists, where I read all my news in. Because I get a short overview about the news, and then I read. So for news gathering is fantastic. So if you're into news, this is the truth. This is a little more. I took this part in because a lot of you here are private, but in the near future, 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you're going into a company. And you always say, can I make money with Twitter? Should we have a corporate Twitter account, or should we have a private Twitter account? I think there is a lot of ways to do it. One of the ways, if we look here, is I put some private profiles over here, and I put some company profiles. We have the police, we have DSB, the railroads, we have the Vice News, we have the GoPro. GoPro on Twitter, they're like Flow TV. Just send out tweets, picture of the day, movie of the day, never communicating. Just use it as a channel to send out. GoPro make cool stuff. They make cool videos. I follow GoPro because when I see GoPro put out a movie, I want to see it. It works for them, just to push out because it's cool. Police, they just 95% of the time, they just put out tweets about what's happening now. They are extremely good at using Twitter to news. I follow all the police areas in Denmark. And also they are starting to give something back, to answer people, communicate, but not a lot. Then we have DSP. I think that is every Dane hate DSP. It always late. The trains are cold. The tickets are expensive. When it snows, they can't drive because every year is the price. No, there's snow, we can't drive. But on Twitter, they are extremely good at customer service. They actually answer. I've tried several times using DSP where I just tweet them how's the trains and this, what happened. Oh, 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, I got answered personally. They do that. When if it's really bad, big situation, and so on, they can't answer anyone, but they come with updates. But you can write to DSP, and they answer you with real life updates. And Vice is also they are like pushing out. All the news agencies that have on breaking, they're just pushing out. I would not suggest you that, because it's really manpower consuming to have a company to manage a Twitter account or social media account where you actually respond. And remember, like at a birthday party, don't go to the corner and just shout out, oh, we're cheap, we're on sale, something like that. On the other hand, you have a private account. I have 3 examples. If we start from the bottom, Thomas Speaker, social media, Facebook guy. He brands his company. He has a big company now. I think there's 70 people connected to his company, teaching social media strategy and all that. But his company doesn't have a Twitter company account. He uses his own and interact with people. And that gives him credit. Have to remember, credit is more important than just good sales. He helps people ask, dividing, promoting other people. The journalist I have, actually, Alan Johnson, in the middle there, he became quite famous in the last war in Gaza, between Israel and Palestine, because he was one of the only journalists, and he was at that point writing for Christi Dagblad, and he was one of the only journalists in there who could report live and had a good network, so everyone in the whole world news agency used his tweets. He wrote for Christi Dagblad, but he pushed news out for other news agencies all the time, shared his own, and he got huge amounts of followers. He was interviewed by CNN, BBC, all over Al Jazeera. Everyone wanted to talk to him because he was the news person. But he was hired, he was a correspondent for a Danish small newspaper. But they had a strategy, and a lot of the Danish news had a strategy that their journalists have private accounts because it gives them the freedom and credibility to act. And it's more important than having a brand or company own channel. They say, and he changed to balance media right away. I know him quite good, and he got, after that period when it ended the war and so on, he got 20 job offers all around the world. And now he's a correspondent in Jerusalem for Brix. Kåre Sørensen, the same journalist, but also very into social media. He is doing exactly the same. There's a difference for a company if you have to make a social media strategy. You can't control them. And the risk you have to take over here, you can't control a private profile. He can write whatever he wants. But he's linked to the media a lot. Oh, but over here, you're just a company. There's no right or wrong in both of them, but there are some pros and cons. You have to take that into consideration. This I could talk for 3 hours about. It's a specific area, but that could be a workshop too. I'd like to kind of give you a good start on Twitter. To start a little backwards from here, I put the snail. Take it really slowly. Don't expect that Twitter will be your main tool within next week. I'm on Twitter, I'm crazy, I'm just gonna follow people, they're gonna follow me and so on. I tried that, and you saw my graph. Doesn't work. It has to be more natural. Don't follow 25 people, or maybe 100 people at a time you don't know, and forget, and the stream of information is just crazy. Start to follow one, follow maybe 2 new. If they don't give you anything, unfollow them. Take it slow. I follow around 500 people, 430 follow me. It has taken 2 or 3 years to do that. But I get the ones I follow is who I get my information from. And that's really important. The other thing is your profile. If you have to start there, I don't know if you can read it, but you can find my profile. I'm really clear in my profile what I give you. Good profile is always very important. I follow some of you. I follow some of you in here. And I always look at people's profile if they follow me. And there stands nothing. Why should I follow you back? I like you. I like to chat. Okay, you're taking the church, you want to follow me. Maybe you're giving me something. But if I can't see anything, I'm very clear. From me, you get content about, and I list what content I tweet about. And then I list here, who am I? It's very important. Even if you're new on Twitter, from me, you get stuff about graphic design, coding, something. I'm new on Twitter, please help me. Be specific because people want to help. Can some of you ask questions to Kim? Just a hashtag workshop MMD, say yes. Yes. Cool. That was the profile. It's really important to be honest. What do you give? And what do you expect, or who are you? Then we have something about behavior, and I think it's the most important is the top. Give value. Give value. I tweet a lot of stuff. I tweet crazy stuff, but I also share articles. If people ask something, I try to help if I see it. There was a guy, another journalist, the other day. He asked, he wanted to see in some of the police protocols, some of their cases. You can do that as a journalist. And they didn't answer him. So he said, who should I complain to? Should I go a step up? Or should I go straight to the Justice Department? I knew from another case I've been working on that we have to put a copy to ombudsman, this person surveilling the government. So I helped him, and he filed it, and he was called up the next day and got permission. I helped him because I knew this, and I didn't do it to promote because I couldn't, but I helped him. And I know this guy, maybe not tomorrow, the other day, he wants to help me if I have a question. My most important thing is actually to promote and help others. Share the love. We all want to get feedback. I retweet a lot, and I leave the Twitter handle at Christian, something you have set up some. You set up some good stuff about design in the recent days, and I send it out, tweet it out, because I could copy the link and send it out and say, oh, see what I found. Oh, I'm really good, I know all this. But for me, it's much more giving to help to promote Chris and that he shared. Because again, we get a good network feeling. Just think about networking in the real world, it's nothing different like that. You can engage with influencers, people, politicians. If you write a politician on Twitter about something, or they are saying something and you react on it, I would say within 2 hours, you have a direct answer from that politician, minister, anything. Maybe not the prime minister or something, but everyone. Huh? Because it's a more personal media. I've done it several times. I've done it writing someone, a politician, and they answer direct. If you send something on Facebook to them, they have an assistant or an internship to answer, or they never react. If you send an email, you're sure you'll never hear anything. But on Twitter, you can actually engage with people much more than other social medias. And if you want to achieve something, that's quite good. That is how Twitter has been before and is now. I don't know if it keeps like that because it's a dynamic world, but actually you can interact with influencers really easy. Be approachable. I, in general, follow everyone who wants to follow me. And I have this thought that you just followed me today, and I followed you back. Because he wants kind of interacting. He wants to say, hey, let's connect, let's do something. It's not like Facebook, because I'm really strict with it. If you send dirty jokes out all the time, or send out stuff I don't interested in, I unfollow them, because then you're just noise. But I take the connection, even for people I don't know at all. But if I've seen 10 tweets with nothing, or bad jokes, or something I'm not interested in, I unfollow. But be open and say, okay, let's do this. And that's the difference between Facebook and here as well, is friends on Facebook is more connected and so on. Well, why did you unfriend me? Because the other guy don't see if you're unfriended. A little trick. You don't get a notice you're unfriended and so on. But be selective anyway. And then don't talk about you. It's a different thing. Oh, see how good it is and so on. You can do it sometimes. As I told in my class third semester, this 80-20 rule, and that works for business-wise. 80% of the time, just give, help, do something, and then sometimes say, hey, please go to this link, or I made a new offer for this ebook, or whatever. But it's much more important to just give, and then sometimes check back. That's really important. Then I have something about tweets. The most important thing, if you want, because often if you put something out, it's because you want to share. Everyone who has wrote a blog post, an article, made a video, whatever, they make it because they want to share. They want to have people. I'm a photographer. I'm a video journalist. When I make stuff, I make it because I like to tell stories about something. And if I put it out, it's because I want people to see it. Be honest about that. But leave room for RTs. It's called retweets. And it's connected to the use between 71 and 100 characters. It's statistics. Because then you could share a blog, you could quote this retweet and write something good. I did that with Karen earlier this morning, where you put your first tweet out in 2 years or how many you are. I retweeted it and said something in front of it. And I wanted to share that Karen was looking forward to this workshop. And she was coming here, and I kind of thanked her and said, oh, cool, and so on. So leave room for retweets. It's really important. Credit others. Sometimes it's really easy to, again, delete the handles if the tweets are too long and so on. But credit others. It helps to show that you're building networks. Use hashtags. Hashtags is search words, keywords, but it's also something about signals, what's about. I will talk about that later. The statistics, all this is based on the statistics, is use 2, not 10. You get more interactions with shorter and more precise hashtags. I use something, sometimes 3 or 4, but then I consider why I do it. Use visuals, pictures, videos. You have twice the chance to interact with people if you have a visual. Ask for retweets. If you want to have this retweeted to reach a lot of people, ask for it. Please retweet. People do it. And people say, I can't ask for this. Of course you can. Use it. Not all the time, because remember 80-20, give, and then you have this, you really want to be retweeted. You can ask for, please retweet. And people say, okay, he gives a lot. Push it. Then you can use it. And use Bitly links. There's Bitly search and all that, short links. I will send a link that will come a tweet from me. That will come to a tweet later with the links Bitly. I will also put up all the links and documents I showed you in my presentation on the website on clever.dk. I will put that on retweets as well. Bitly is a way to shorten links. You only have 140 characters, So if your link is like this, say 60 characters, you can't write anything. Bitly is shortening your links. But the cool thing about Bitly is you can get statistics on it. So if you use it as a journalist, as a company, as an influencer, and want to have people to read your stuff, you can actually track who has hit you can see the people who is hitting your link in Twitter. You can see how many retweets you had and all this. And that's quite important if you use it strategically. So Bitly is very, very good. Yeah? Now, we have to work. I've had this presentation. I will show you how I work with Twitter. Because a lot of you've seen this, and you think, my Twitter doesn't look like this. I use special tools so I can actually manage and see what's happening. So I'll go up here and stand a little, and then we can work. This is the normal Twitter, right? If you log into Twitter, first of all, just to say, I'll show you how I work with Twitter on my computer. Later on, I will connect my phone and show you all the tools I use there, so you can how I use it in daily life. Basically, this is Twitter, and this is your Twitter feed. That it just keeps coming with information, and it's kind of going. If you follow a lot of people, goes really fast. And if this is your experience with Twitter, I understand it doesn't use it. Because where to start, where to see, it's crazy. So I never use this. This is just a service. The best tool, there's several tools out there. The best tool for me is an app. You can run it in your browser called TweetDeck. But you can also on Macs have it as an app. That's the one I run. I run this app called TweetDeck, and it basically, this you see here is what you saw on the Twitter page before. It's my home, it's my feed. There's every person I follow is there. And it's updated quite fast. You can see just I don't use that much. I don't use it a lot. Actually, if I scroll to the side, you can see I can keep scrolling. Oh, you can see over here schedule. Ah, that's the one I've scheduled for today. But basically, I set up what's important for me. I like to have notifications. This is where I'm involved. If people follow me, if my handle @Nicolai_Brix is used, if people are favoring, retweeting my stuff, I can see it here. And I want to interact and I want to share the love. So I would like to say, oh, thank you, or the smallest. It's kind of, I have a way of escalating love for people. You know, to show my love, I can show it in 3 different ways. I can favorite the tweet. The other guy will see, okay, he liked it. That's the lowest kind. Yeah, that's okay, I've seen it. I can retweet. That's actually 4. That means I just send the same tweet to all my followers. I can retweet with a quote. If you have left space for me to write something. If you really long tweets and I say quote retweet, there's not enough space so I can write something. So that's why you should have short tweet there. And I say, oh, Jeff said some really cool stuff here. Read this. Or I can answer directly and say, thanks for sharing my stuff. It's really important for me. Should we have coffee a day? Networking like I did with Heine. So that is a really an amazing tool. So that's just beside my tree. Today, I've set up this hashtag. Everyone knows hashtags? Yeah. Hashtags is searchable, it's keywords. There's two ways to use it. It's just keywords, just direct keywords to search on, but it also has to say something. It can give, and I can put hashtags. I just wrote an article about hashtag design thinking today. Or I can write something and put it in the end just as searchable. And how does hashtags start? Anyone knows? Who invented the hashtags? No one. I can make a hashtag. I made the hashtag for today. Actually, I think it was Simon who made it. Workshop MND. No one owns a hashtag. Everyone can use it. So if some porn site find out that our hashtag is trending and want to promote their porn, they can just send out tweets where they use this hashtag. And that's the beauty of hashtagging. Your hashtag can be stolen. And you can do nothing. But I use this, and my plan is, why don't we use it every time we have a workshop on MND? Also, when I share something, I think that's my personal use. If I share something that I find important for you, this is my online workshop. So I created that. I put up here, it's very easy. You can see all this lanes here. I set up here. I actually did this. Here, searched, and I got all I searched on the hashtag. And I can just say add column, and it flies up to my columns. So right now, this is really important, I have it up, put to my columns here, so I can monitor what's happening. And I used it a lot the last few weeks, just to put some updates on it so people could start using it. And then, when it's not in 2 years' time, if I'm not here or if it doesn't work, I can remove it. But right now, it's important. All the questions from here will come here. Then that was a hashtag. You get that? I will tweet a link. I have a note come. The 100 most used Danish hashtags will come to as a link within half an hour or so. Oh, I want to put something. How do I find the hashtags to follow? For example, the most used hashtag in Denmark ever is CPH shooting. Who invented that? BBC. The Danish media put someone on, and BBC, the first tweet they put out, they just said CPH shooting, and everyone else adapted that. So I found it because I followed breaking news, and I started, in the beginning there was maybe 3 or 4 hashtags used, and I just followed them and saw and suddenly within 1 hour, half an hour, everyone used only the one, the CPH shootings. And then it's just kind of, okay, it's a rule, we only use this. So that's how I found it, find hashtags, because I find people and they try to put in, and I just monitor. That is a hashtag. Here, I have students. That's a cool thing with Twitter. I can follow you back, but if I don't want to follow you and have you in my feed all the time, I can make a list. On Twitter, there are lists. I can make my own list, and you can put mine on your lists, and then you can monitor the list. And I have made a list called students. So all of you that I know that are my students or former students that follows me, or I follow, or I see in there, And I say, okay, I haven't talked to her for a long time, but I'd like to have her in my column called students on my list. I put them there. Can you see the clever thing here? If EIL was clever, they made lists with all the students. And if the students started to tweet bad about the school or positive, they could interact. They could monitor, okay, all the students that are my target group, I can follow what they are talking about. And I could actually put you on a list. You can make it public or private. I can make a private list of all your students and you would never know that I saw your tweets because I didn't follow you. So, Nicolai is the best teacher in the world. And I could do that. I knew that. That's intelligence. As a company, you can use that. And be aware if you make a list, if it's your competitors you have in the list, make it private. So the competitor can't see that you're on their list, that they are competitors. But also a school could do it with all you. I could give the list to the school so they could monitor you. It's a tool. So a list, and I basically do this. We take Andreas. I follow Andreas. But add or remove from list, I put him on this list. Students. And you can see I have different lists by people I think is interesting. I don't have a lot of lists. Sometimes I make a new, but I try to put people in all the time. Right now, if we have to go further, I have another SMV Trends 2015. There's a reason why I have this workshop. You know what happened in Copenhagen right now? Social Media Week. There's Social Media Week all over the world right now, and Social Media Week Copenhagen is right now. All the big guys, I'm not invited, so I'm not a big guy, in social media, they come and speak and talk and so on, and all the trends, the future, new stuff are there, and people tweet like crazy. They send out their slides, their presentations, their trends, their everything. Of course, I want to monitor that hashtag right now. Next week, I doesn't. Then I have seen it. I remove the column. But right now, I got all the future in social media on that hashtag. And I want to know that. What is that? That's knowledge. I want to keep updated about social media, trends, what happening. Of course I have to monitor. I don't even have to monitor. I can follow 0 people. But I can still get all the news here. I can get all the news from all the speakers. Maybe I can't remember 25 workshops like this, and I get all the news because of that. They're tweeting like hell all the time with pictures, with quotes. The one who had the workshop sent out the slides. Last night I just downloaded all the slideshows and got their opinions about what's happening and how to do it. You can do it in all topics, graphic designs, everything. One of the biggest things in conferences right now is to have a hashtag. And if you see that in areas where you're interested, follow the hashtag. And it's not like I always follow. My columns here can change daily. If something happens, I look forward to the elections. When we got a new election, I get crazy. I love politics. Then I have another hashtag connected to here, the just Social Media Week Copenhagen. I have my breaking news, SMDK, Social Media Denmark. I follow that. Yeah. Then I made a list again. You can see here, social media's persona, right now, just now. When I see people tweeting about something interesting, I put them on this list. One of the most used hashtags in Denmark is DK politics in Denmark. I follow that. I have a background in the media business. I follow DK Media. Yeah. I'm from Odense. Hashtag anything with bullets, I follow. There's a lot of bullshit, but sometimes, oh, they're shooting in the Czech Republic right now. First pictures from the shooting in Czechia. I get my news like that. Go to a Danish news site right now. They don't have the pictures, but I got them on Twitter. That's how I discovered the shooting in Copenhagen. Then I have something about media, and then we have the direct messages. Yeah, direct messages, DMs. You have RTs and you have DMs. There's a little thing that you have to follow each other. I cannot follow Jeff and he doesn't follow me, then we can't DM. We have to follow each other to send direct messages. That's a little trick about that. Yeah. And then I have my favorites here. It's really important. It's really important. That is the one I favorite. You can go here. Andreas, he sent me in regarding what do you think about this, and I favorite actually answered him, asked the question again in the workshop. But I favorite for another reason. When I put a star on it, I save it in this column. And there is a link I want to check later. I couldn't remember the link. If I just said, oh, I'll ask you later, but I actually wanted to check this link out. I favorite it because then I can find it again. Then I keep my Twitter articles. And this is only on laptop. It's a totally different story when I go on my phone. We will see in a short moment. But that's actually a good way to do it. And then last, I have my scheduled tweets. You can in this program schedule your tweet, saying tomorrow, I did this last night. I said I couldn't say, oh, it's at that time I will speak about this and so on. It was just like, okay, I want to keep a stream of tweets with the links and content. I can schedule. You start as a company. There are services that when you present something from product launch, and if you hit the button with it sends a tweet on your presentation. There's a lot of different tools, but you can schedule in advance. If you have to present something 8 o'clock, we're going live 8 o'clock. If I had my plan was the live stream. If I had the link before, I didn't. But that's an obvious way. If you have a link for a live stream or something, you can always take the link, schedule the link will be live at 8. And then schedule 8, because you're sure it's out. Of course, the first tweet I sent it out on this hashtag after we started was that I had a new workshop, because I wanted your attention. I want more to sign up. I can use it for that. Yeah? Okay. Let's take the first questions. Start down here. Yes? Oh, he just left. Oh, we have Adam down here. Oh, he left. He hijacked my tweet, and he used a bit.ly link so he could see who will press it. His factory of imagination, I will talk about that later. He wants to get, he has the audience here now, and he wants to get you to sign up. But let's, that was clever. Yes. See here, I said there, sign up already for the new workshop, share knowledge. Okay. So of course sign up. Yeah. Yeah. Kit is asking where to see it. We've answered him. Someone is. Yeah, Kim asked how I handled my list on different computers, devices, apps. If I make lists in Twitter, and this TweetDeck was owned a startup company, Twitter bought them. So if I make lists here, they will appear on all my other Twitter tools. So I can find my list there. The smart thing about TweetDeck here is I actually have two computers. I have my personal laptop and I have my school work here. And when I use an account, I made an account. You can use it without an account. Just put your Twitter, but I can make an account. So every change I make here now on one computer will automatically work on the other. Just like Chrome or Safari, where your bookmarks are the same and so on, it's the same here. So I have the same kind of thing. Yeah. That was not a lot of questions. Anyone have questions now? Cool. Now the most important part, because my use of Twitter is that I actually use this at night. Follow up, or if something happening, I use TweetDeck. I use it for getting the big overview and so on, but 15 hours out of 24, I'm on the road, or I sit with my smartphone or my device, and I use my phone. And I'd like you to show all the tools I use there. No, that was actually the one. I'm going to use this one. Cool. Here's my phone. I've organized it my way, but I can say the social medias I use is Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, basically. Basically, yes. Then I get a lot of here. Basically, I have 3 different Twitter apps. Where is it here? I can show you. I have this, this, and this. This is, all of them are Twitters. And I use it for different ways, because actually TweetDeck, they made a work just like TweetDeck for iPad and iPhone, but they canceled that after Twitter bought it, and I'm crazy about it. And I haven't found an app that works as good. So I had to use the Tweetbot 3, the 3rd version, is this one. And actually, I like it the best to tweet on, and just to get an overview of tweets. And I can scroll, and I can see, and all this, and I can see if I'm mentioned, I can see direct messages, I can see retweets, how many people retweeted, how to interact. I can do search thing and everything. That is my, if I just want a quick update on Twitter, that's the app I use. The thing is with that app, it's really bad, the notification system. It's really bad about if people are interacting with me. And for me, people who interact, they are trying to approach me. It can be a retweet or a direct message or anything, and I can't set it up. And then I'm using the original Twitter app, because it gives me updates about Twitter real time, actually sometimes faster than my computer. And the thing, I only use it when I see something standing that I have notifications. There. So I go in. And see what happened. But the interface and the search module and so on, it's crazy bad. So I never use it for kind of real tweeting. Then I have Hootsuite. And this is basically, if you see here, I have my feed, I have some keywords. I can put up this just like TweetDeck. TweetDeck and Hootsuite is actually competitors. They also have a desktop version. I don't like it that much. But the cool thing is here I can easily go in and see what's happening on MMD, Workshop MMD. I can see the lists really easy. And I can flip through the ones I want. So that is, if I have a little more time than 2 minutes to check my Twitter and want to see what's happening, I kind of just scroll this way. But I actually think it's crazy bad just for normal Twitter news. Because if I hit home, it goes to the front side. Crazy stuff. But the other cool thing for businesses is you can actually connect other social medias to it. It's not only a Twitter app. I can have my Facebook, I can have my LinkedIn, I actually think I can have my Instagram as well. Yes. Cool. I call this workshop Twitter and all the other information highways. And the other information highways are that when you have a Twitter account, you can get connected to content. When we talk about, and that's just a little commercial, see here I'm using 80/20. I push information knowledge to you, and now I ask a little back, a little commercial. 26th of March, I have a workshop in content marketing. And basically, I ask you to sign up, because I don't, but content is king. And content here can be, now you have seen Twitter, I have to watch it, all the feeds and streams all the time, but there's actually some automatic curators. Like in an art museum, when you curate stuff, you kind of say, I have an exhibition about this painter in this period of time, and we need to have this kind of pictures and so on. Here I can put up some searchables from my Twitter and other interests, and I can get a newspaper that's actually taking my Twitter account into consideration. It's called Flipboard. And basically, I put my Twitter handle in, and I put some interest. And I get an update all the time. And I can just flip through it and get news about things that are interesting. I can follow their board. I want to show you something, that's what I'm looking for. See here? In this, tweets are coming in. That's Twitter. So I search, put some keywords up. So also normally tweets get in. Actually, I can follow people. Come on here. Follow this in here. I follow them, but should this app take consideration in for this? I follow a lot of different stuff. Fly fishing. I like to fly fish. I like cameras. I like to social media. You can set up everything in there. And I get kind of real-time news. You set up your interest like here. Kind of stuff. There's a lot of other services out there doing this, but I've tried it. Reddit, for example, I'm not a fan of that. I think this is really much more intuitive and on the go with visuals and short overviews. It's like a news. You get this small caption, what's about. I can flip. If it's not interesting, I can go in. The cool thing here is, and you know how, and that's something about if you have to look, how do I use my phone or social media? When I say up here, I get all my news from Twitter. Then you always say, oh, he's always on the phone. I am. But I don't read all my articles on the go. If I see something special, you all try this. Oh, I saw this article, but where the heck is it? I can't find it. Or I don't have the time to read it or something. There's some tools for that, especially on mobile phone, and that's why I use it a lot. Let's say I have this this article, 20 striking portraits for Vanity Fair. It's from Mashable, textile, about photography. Mashable I follow, and I have keyword photography and so on. So of course here, I really want to read it, but I'm on the way to pick up my kids. I can't read it now. In Safari and all the other stuff, you can say read later, but it's only in Safari or it's only in this, and different platforms or browsers have their own stuff. But I found a very cool, app or website service to do it. I should simpler, more options, save to readability. Readability is an app where I can collect, and I install it, and that means everywhere on my phone, if I'm in a browser, if I'm on Facebook, if I'm on Twitter, or if I'm anywhere, I can send it to readability. And I can collect from all different sources, article, news, everything. I'm thinking it's interesting stuff. And I think that's quite cool. The cool thing about readability, from my point here, is we just saw the first one up here. I can actually remove all the text. I can see it like the real media, but a lot of the articles I read is tech articles, social media, where just conversion get confused. I can get it in plain text, and I can read it. And actually here, I make a library of all the interesting articles I have. Then I later, on my phone, or actually can log in home and read the stuff. And yes, sometimes I have 20 articles I haven't read because I don't have the time, but I know where to find them. And I think in a mass communication world we're living in, you have to take the decision to organize your knowledge. And that's actually, for me, the best thing. And remember, some of you say, I use this app, it's much better. Fine by me. But it's just to have a system to do it. It's a system to save knowledge. And especially a lot of you are students. I think it's your duty to follow up on knowledge in your study area, multimedia, social media, everything. Especially in my classes, you never get homework. So you can use a lot of time on exploring on this. But you can find any kind of information. Yeah? Let's see if any new. Yes, there is some question about TweetDeck and Hootsuite. And yes, if you are using your list from Twitter, you can actually use them both places. You can take the list you have on your Twitter account and use it. So yes, but you can't set up the searchable. You can't set up the hashtags. The hashtags I put up in Hootsuite is some I manually put in. Okay, other ones? Yeah. Then we have Flickr. It's just someone shared something, and that's brilliant. That's the way I want to use this. If we get knowledge, we think maybe it's important for everyone. You're free to use this tool as well. Cool. Anything else? Like I have this. Visuals. Some of you have seen I use this app, putting text on pictures, just so you can see it. And I started to see, when I do it, I get much more interactions. I put some text on images, and then we can just show here. For example, this one I put up. I get much more interactions than if I just write it in plain text. And also, if you remember, the statistic says if you put pictures or visuals in your tweets, on your social media behavior, you will get more attention. I made this very easy with an app called WordSwag. And the cool thing in here is you can have, there's a lot of pictures here. You can just use there, but you can use your own pictures. But basically this app has a lot of free stock images you can use. You can say Jeff is in the front row. If you want to make a picture with some pictures or Polaroid and put a quote, you can use it also for business-wise. Yeah. Just use them and this one I like. You can crop it, make them straight or crop or for square and so on, and then you just put text on. That's really cool. And that's recently one of my most used apps because I think it's fun to play and so on. So yeah. WordSwag. I put on it will come a tweet with that later. Yes, basically that was the most I wanted to tell about today. I have two small things. No, that was one. How do you talk? Yes, that's totally right. I would like to just change the computer for a second. And in the meantime, I believe in spreading love, and we are ending soon here, so you can go home. Third semester, going to make portfolios and so on, and you love it. This event is my idea, and I'm really happy about it. It has been big fun to make. But I'm not, some of you were a little earlier, I saw I was quite panicking because the stuff didn't work. So all of the ones, there's a lot of students who came here to set up, thank you. I couldn't have done it without that, and Morten for the techniques, and everyone, and the camera guys. We are setting up a live feed. Thank you, everyone. That's really cool. I'm pleased. And I have a workshop the 26th, remember to sign up. So that's cool, thank you. I'd like to have just shortly, we have this event, the 26th. Content marketing, give away your knowledge and win. And that's basically the hot words and hot topics right now, especially also for third and fourth semester. It's really important to incorporate. So it's going to be kind of the same introduction, tips, tricks, everything.
And second semester.
And second semester, yes. Adam is left to pick him up. Spy has made this great event, 18th of May, Factory of Imagination. Crazy people coming to talk there. Google, NASA, every crazy stuff going on, master classes, everything. The tickets is just off, as you saw in the tweets. give a massive discount. I'm gonna go, it's crazy good. And 2 days later, you're gonna have the TEDx. It's free, students, and it's about imagination. All different kinds of topics relating to that. Put that in your schedule. Again, resources. Use this. I would suggest you, if you want to start using Twitter, I'll keep using it. And if I see stuff I will think is interesting, I'll push it out on that channel. So you can start following that and get inspiration to start. You can also use this. Uncle Clever, it's kind of world premiere today. It's a little collective of me and Simon. I mean, we are making a blog, small blog about basically content marketing, where we share all our knowledge, things we stumble upon about these topics, social media and everything. So you can go to clever.dk and follow that. All the materials, all the links, everything I will put up on Clever. So you can, the slideshow presentation, so you can get it there. You can follow me on all these different places. And then I hope that you got a little out of this small workshop. So yeah, I hope to see you soon. Is there a question? Yeah, the way to use it is actually I upload them either with the tweetbot on my mobile phone. That's a good way. It posts my pictures. If I use the native Twitter, it always gets trouble with pictures. And I use TweetDeck. I never use Twitter's native Twitter apps on desktop or in browser or on the iPhone, because they really sucks. They are bad. Anyone else have comments? Yeah, no, yeah. Any more last questions before we start? Yes, about the hashtags. When you use a hashtag, and if you search on that hashtag, everyone can see it. Twitter is 95 or 98%, everything is public. Actually, a year, 18 months ago, Twitter opened. Normally, you could only see tweets 7 days old, the last 7 days, until 18 months ago. Now you can find every tweet you've ever made. So everything is public. The only thing is not in public is direct messaging. Yes? Yeah, there was a link for TweetDeck. Yeah. Okay, but that was all for me today. I hope you enjoyed and drive safe. Remember those, they are the most important.
Skide nok. Ja, som du skal. Yep.